As Finland and US sign a defense cooperation agreement, Russian President Vladimir Putin announced to create a new Leningard military district to deal with any aggression on 1300-kilometer border from Finland, NATO or US. Russian President Vladimir Putin has warned there will be problems with neighboring Finland after it became the 31st member of the North Atlantic Treaty Organization on 4th April this year. Finland's ascension to NATO marked a major shift in the security landscape in northern Europe and added around 1300 kilometers to the alliance's frontier with Russia. Finland joining NATO was a major blow for President Putin, who has long and repeatedly warned against NATO expansion. Putin questioned the move, saying Russia and Finland did not had any border dispute earlier. All disputes, including those of a territorial nature in the middle of the 20th century, have all been resolved long ago. Putin was quoted saying in local media that there were no problems, but now there will be, because we will now create the Leningrad military district there and definitely concentrate military units out there. Putin's remarks should be seen beyond Finland's ascension into NATO and more in the light of a new defense cooperation agreement signed between the US and Finland. Finland government believed the agreement would strengthen Finland's defense capabilities and promote Finland's participation in the implementation of NATO's collective defense. The agreement also establishes the foundation for cooperation and joint planning between the Finnish Defence Forces and the United States Armed Forces and enables standardization and simplification of operations. The agreement would come into force after the Finnish Parliament approves the agreement.
The DCA is an important milestone in our bilateral relationship. It gives us a powerful set of tools to work together in support of NATO plans. It is a strong sign of US commitment to the defense of Finland and the whole Northern Europe. We do not expect the United States to take care of the defense of Finland. We continue to invest in our defense and share the burden in our area and beyond. However, this agreement significantly enhances our ability to act together in all situations in military security defense fields. All the Nordic countries will soon have DCAs. At the same time, we are taking strong steps to deepen this cooperation with Nordic countries, and all these arrangements with the deeper cooperation with the United States will provide security in the Northern Europe. That's why this is a historical day for us, and thank you for inviting us. Thanks.
According to Finland Defense Ministry, the preparations for the implementation are already underway. From the Finnish Defence Forces point of view, the agreement facilitates exercise cooperation between Finland and the United States. Among the first areas to be prepared are the entry and movement of US military aircraft, vessels and vehicles, access to agreed upon facilities and areas, their definition and usages, pre-positioning of defense materials and supplies, and the arrangement for security of US forces and the facilities and areas they use. At this stage, it is too early to assess additional resources needs such as personnel or additional construction. These details will be clarified during the implementation phase, as per the Defense Ministry of Finland.
Finland's bilateral relations with the United States are excellent. You are a key strategic partner and ally, but also our most significant trade partner. Finnish NATO membership, substantial growth in trade, but also increased cooperation at all levels are examples why the outlook is bright. NATO membership, along with the DCA, gives us a momentum to lift US-Finland cooperation to the next level. Another good example is our technology cooperation, which has become an integral pillar of our relations. We are committed to deepening our ties even further in this field as well. The signing of the Defence Cooperation Agreement is a great milestone in our bilateral relations. I wish to thank your skilled team who have seamlessly worked with our team. The DCA gives us the ability to act together in all situations and strengthens the security of Nordic and Baltic regions. As a NATO ally, Finland will maintain a credible national defense that will make NATO stronger. I want to underline our strong commitment to the alliance and its security as a whole. Sweden's NATO membership without delay is a priority to us. Today we will also discuss Ukraine. By attacking Ukraine, Russia committed a monumental strategic error. Continuing strong support to Ukraine remains a key priority for us. EU has now made the historic decision to open EU membership negotiations with Ukraine. We will push for agreement on future long-term military and financial support to Ukraine as soon as possible. In the end, Ukraine is not only fighting for their sovereignty and liberty, but also for our shared values.
Use of the Finnish Defence Forces areas and facilities, the basis for the preparation of defence forces has been the determination of agreed facilities and areas according to operational needs, opportunities for developing cooperation, possibilities for future infrastructure development, and strengthening preventive deterrence. The defence forces areas are primarily for joint use by Finland and the United States. According to Finnish Defence Ministry, with regards to the included areas and facilities in the agreement, efforts have been made to participate in the development of cooperation so that there would be no immediate need for their expansion in the near future.
Welcome as the United States and Finland take yet another step in what has truly been a historic year for our friendship. We throw around the word historic sometimes. This really meets the mark. Back in April, I stood alongside our NATO allies, including President Niinistö, to see Finland's flag fly over NATO headquarters for the first time. In June, I had an opportunity to visit Helsinki, where we took further steps to strengthen our partnership in very concrete ways. Today, NATO is bigger, it's stronger, it is more united than at any point in its nearly 75-year history. And that's in no small part thanks to Finland's accession. And soon, Sweden will join as well. Already, Finland is making significant contributions to the alliance, sharing technical expertise, hosting and joining NATO military exercises, meeting and exceeding the NATO target of spending 2% of GDP on defense. Finland has been a steadfast partner to Ukraine as it defends its people, its territory, its right to shape its own future, providing more than $2 billion in defense support, in humanitarian aid, and other assistance since Russia's full-scale aggression. Today, we will further strengthen our security bonds by signing a defense cooperation agreement in just a couple of minutes.
Regarding the areas and facilities, it has been taken into account that they serve all branches of defense and logistic arrangements. It is likely that the initial implementation of the agreement will not have a significant impact on all the areas. Russia's fear lies on the premise that now US nuclear submarines can enter so far untouchable waters and dock at Finland, compromising its security in a big way.
When it goes into effect, our militaries will be able to collaborate more efficiently and more effectively. Our troops will have more opportunities to train together, and we will bolster NATO's interoperability. This agreement builds on 3 decades of security cooperation between our nations on everything from countering terrorism to boosting Finland's defense capabilities, including through the recent purchase of F-35 fighter jets. Today is just the latest demonstration of the United States' comprehensive effort to bolster transatlantic security. Last year, we amended our defense cooperation agreement with Norway. Earlier this month, we signed a new defense agreement with Sweden. Later this week, we will sign a new agreement with Denmark. And of course, today, we will be doing this with Finland. We now have a network of defense cooperation agreements that stretches from northern to southern Europe, from the Norwegian Sea to the Black Sea, providing security and stability for people all across the continent. And together, we'll also keep supporting Ukraine.
Russia-Finland border in Nordic and Baltic region would be another military flashpoint now on. Putin said, Russia has no reason, no interest, no geopolitical interest, neither economic, nor political, nor military to fight with NATO countries. He also said Moscow does not have any territorial claims in NATO countries. Even before Putin launched his invasion of Ukraine, he had demanded NATO limit its expansion. Yet it was the war that altered the security environment of the Finland, driving the Nordic nations' desire to join the NATO alliance. President Sauli Niinistö said in May 2022 when announcing his country would seek to join. Within a few months of its application, the Finnish government said it would spend around 143 million on building barrier fences along Finland's 830-mile eastern border with Russia, that is around 1,340 kilometers, which used to have little security protections. Border between Finland and Russia is a point of suspicion in Helsinki. On December 14th, Finland's Interior Minister Mari Rantanen said Finland will close its eastern border with Russia hours after reopening it following a spike in migrant crossings that Helsinki had labeled a Russian hybrid attack. Finland, USA and NATO in recent months have become more apprehensive about Russia's military buildup in the Arctic Circle. The expansion includes the recent unveiling of two new nuclear-powered submarines. They are named as Krasnoyarsk and Emperor Alexander III, inducted into its Pacific Fleet by Russian President Vladimir Putin, signaling a major strategic shift in the region. West has been accusing Russia of altering the climate in Arctic Circle due to testing of hypersonic missiles that are capable of evading American defenses in the Arctic. In August this year, a joint Russian and Chinese military flotilla was observed patrolling waters near Alaska. There is a concern over the fact that Russia now operates a third more Arctic military base than the US and NATO combined, suggesting a strategic advantage in the region.
America's assistance is critical to building Ukraine's capacity to stand on its own feet militarily, economically, democratically, and ensuring that President Putin's war of aggression remains a strategic failure. We'll continue to work with Congress to pass President Biden's supplemental budget request, which is vital to ensuring that result. As I said in Helsinki when I visited, Finland knows almost better than anyone what is at stake for Ukraine. In 1939, the Finns also faced a Russian invasion and proved that a free nation can put up an incredibly powerful and resilient resistance. Your history is also a reminder of why it's so important that we all continue to stand with Ukraine. For autocrats who try to redraw one nation's border by force almost certainly will not stop there. And that's precisely why we'll continue to work together to defend the values of freedom, independence, and sovereignty that NATO and agreements like this one were created to protect in the first place.
Military experts claim that the West's military footprints in the Arctic lags about 10 years behind Russia's. Norway, a key NATO member, is among the nations closely monitoring these developments due to its proximity to Russia's military installations. Norway caught a suspected Russian spy last year who had been posing as a researcher in Norway's Arctic University. This year, 15 Russian diplomats were expelled by Norway amid accusations of espionage. The northern part of Norway, including Svalbard, is particularly important to Russia because they have nuclear submarines stationed in Kola, which is very close to the Norwegian border. Those nuclear submarines need a clear line to get out from Kola towards the US to be able to launch their nuclear weapons in case of a conflict with the US. Russia already has a toehold on Svalbard thanks to a century-old treaty that allows Russian citizens to live there visa-free in a NATO member country. Barentsburg is a Russian coal mining settlement with its own school, a giant Russian consulate, and as of earlier this year, a Russian military-style parade, all on Norwegian territory. Media reports say that the US Department of Defense, while recognizing the increase in Russian Arctic bases, stressed that this alone does not reflect the entire scope of military capabilities of either nation. Pentagon quoted saying US military remains ready to respond to any aggression against the United States or our allies, and that it was continually tracking the growing cooperation between Russia and China in the region. By signing a defense cooperation agreement with Finland, Pentagon has literally balanced the nuclear power balance in the region. But China, a silent operator in the region, has potential to alter any strategic balance in the region at its will and point of choosing. Thanks for watching National Defense. Jai Hind, Vande Mataram.